unbelievable. It's so unbelievable that when I tweeted the video this morning, I actually felt I felt bad because I had not thoroughly investigated. And I took some of my key sources at their word, and I was like, when I tweeted it out, I'm like, wait a minute, this story about United Airlines is so wild that maybe my sources are wrong. And so I doubled back as fast as I could to try to find out, like, is this exactly what happened? In case you're wondering, and in case you're not, plugged in anywhere, United Airlines forcibly removed a paying customer from his seat. The video is shocking. The video is disgusting and disturbing. We're going to play the video. But the reason for which they removed him is equally as disturbing, because United Airlines, needed to get to get 4 of their employees to their destination. And so they forced 4 people off. Now, this has happened before. This happens. I'm sure many of you have stories of having to get another flight and they give you some type of voucher. But in this case, no one volunteered, or not enough people volunteered. And you'll see in the video how disturbing what happened next. Let's watch the footage. Hey, come on. Wow.
There you go.
Oh,
Busted his lip.
Oh my God! Look at what you did to him! Oh my God!
All right. So United Airlines has admitted to overbooking, right? And not only did they overbook, but they had to remove people for their employees. Now, in most cases of overbooking, it's usually they catch you before you get on the plane. And in fact, their regulations state that they can not allow you. They can keep you from boarding the plane in the case of overbooking. But this is not someone who was being kept from boarding the plane. This was someone who was forcibly removed from the plane. Now, they made offers to people to deboard the plane so that they could accommodate their employees. They started at $400. Very few people, I think only one person may have accepted that. Then they went to the next offer, which was $800. No one else stepped up to receive or to accept the money in exchange for deboarding. They could have gone up to a maximum of $1,350, which would have got me out of my seat. I would have got right out of my seat and left, but they didn't. And no one is explaining why they did not go to the maximum offer. They stopped at $800. And then once no one acquiesced, or not enough people acquiesced at $800, they called security in. And you see what happens whenever you call the police. You do not. I mean, this story is ultimately about United Airlines, but we cannot leave out the fact that it was the Chicago police involved in this, and there was an air marshal, I believe, who was the one doing the physical manhandling of the individual. But this is what happens when you have police to come in to handle something that if they had gone up to the $1,350, I'm sure they could have found someone else to get off. But instead of doing that, they've made a fiasco, an international fiasco that's probably going to cost them into the millions of dollars, because under no circumstances is leaving the plane with a bloodied face a part of your agreement. Now, a lot of people are going to, not a lot of people, I think some extreme people are going to say he should have just gotten off the plane. In fact, we have video. We have video of the CEO, a former CEO of Continental, calling this man childish and calling him immature because he did not get off when he was told to get off the plane. Let's watch the first clip.
Had to be removed from the flight. I'm sorry. First of all, the men and women of United are truly professional, so this immature reaction obviously it disturbs us all, but there are millions of people every day on airplanes, and this involuntary denied boarding does occur, usually handled with a whole lot more maturity, I think.
A lot of people looking now through United's denied booking policy, which talks about denying boarding, doesn't say much about taking someone off of an aircraft. So is it your guess that once they got to 800 as a volunteer offer, didn't get any takers, they were stuck because they had already boarded too many people?
I think that may be true, Carl. They have, lists, so certainly your frequent flyer, your biggest earners, and of course the first class passengers, and the cost of your ticket has something to do with who gets involuntarily bumped off a flight.
Of course it does.
But there usually is space available, so that's not an issue. Obviously, this person was the most eligible.
All right, so there you go. So he started off saying, there's a couple of key things out of this. So this is Gordon Bethune. He's a former CEO of Continental Airlines. Continental has merged with United, and I believe the company official name is United Continental. So Gordon Bethune is saying here, and actually it gets worse. There's another clip that we'll play in a second, but he's saying that this is ultimately the fault of the customer because he's being immature. Now, what he's not telling you is that this customer is a doctor who could not get home to take care of his patients the next day. It's not like he had to go, well, I'm not going to demean any other job, but it's not like he could just call in sick. He's a doctor. And so instead of them trying again, or even offering the highest amount, I'm sure somebody, instead of doing that, they forcibly removed him. And the former CEO of Continental has the nerve to call him childish or immature. It actually gets worse. Let's listen to the next clip.
And the man obviously didn't want to go. It's, like a child that didn't want to leave.
So, I mean, so add that on top of the fact that he is addressing your purchase of a ticket as almost as if they're doing you a favor, right? Almost like, and we talked about this pretty regularly on the show last year, but you're nothing more than a commodity to them. You're nothing more than a cog in their machine. And this is something that companies have to realize. This is a different day and age. You cannot simply just address people as though, or treat people as though you have no responsibility to the broader community. This video went viral within a few hours of it taking place. It would have gone viral sooner, but I guess they didn't upload them until they landed at their next destination. But this is the responsibility that corporations have to the general public. You are not out there free to just treat people the way you want to treat people with just this disdain. And I actually want to pull up the quote from the CEO, I believe Oscar Munoz, where he really just started describing the situation in almost an unbelievable. This is the statement, right? This is the statement from United Airlines, which shows me that they have very little regard whatsoever for the customer. And he said, "This is an upsetting event to all of us here at United. I apologize having to reaccommodate these customers. Our team is moving to make sense of urgency to work with the authorities to conduct our own detailed review of what happened. We are also reaching out to the passenger to talk directly to him, blah, 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 Oscar Munoz. See, I apologize for having to reaccommodate." What the hell does, clearly I know what reaccommodate. I know what he's trying to say, but this is not the time for you to, this is a PR fail. Can I talk about this from a marketing perspective, just from a public relations perspective? You do not dismiss what happened in a video that tens of millions of people have seen. You don't dismiss it as a reaccommodation. You call it for what it is. This man was accosted and assaulted. There's another video, right? There's another video of him standing there. I think I loaded it up. If I didn't, we'll have to do it afterwards. But you can see him standing there with his mouth full of blood. He's clearly in shock, and he's basically saying that they're going to kill him. They're going to kill him. You do not, CEO of United, you do not address this as something that's a casual Friday afternoon press release. You address this with the same anger that the American people are feeling at this point. But United Airlines showed us with the entire Leggett incident of, I think, 2 weeks ago, that they have no clue whatsoever. They have no clue whatsoever how to do effective PR after they have offended. Let's forget about them having any clue about how not to offend their customers, right? Because clearly they've missed that mark. But they still don't have a clue on how you have a responsibility to the collective community of potential customers and active customers because of social media. but they're going to learn today. They are going to learn today. It's going to cost them dearly. And what's sad is that, you know, who knows how many incidents it's going to take for them to actually learn their responsibility, but also the fact that you really don't have that many options in flying anymore, right? If you wanted to boycott United, you're going to have to boycott all of their subsidiaries. There's basically a monopoly that's taking place in the airlines today. So even if you wanted to boycott United, you can't really boycott United as easily as you would if there was more competition in the industry. But because there's less competition in the industry, I guess they can have this disposition towards us and towards the customers because they know our choices are limited. And one last thing about this, and this dovetails perfectly into the conversation about monopoly. In the absence of a real free market competition, you get stuck with fewer options, and this is what happens. Because these companies feel so cavalier. They know that if you try to boycott them and you need to fly, you're going to end up flying with them anyway. That's number one. But number two is something that's pointed out by my friend Matt Brunig. You should know. Well, look him up. Anyway, he pointed out that they started off trying to use free market solutions to fix their problem. Basically saying, we need your seat. Here's something we'll pay you for your seat. And you see how quickly it escalated from being, we're going to use the free market. They didn't even go to the height, right? They didn't even go to 1350. They stopped at 800. But all right. But you see how quickly it escalated from using the free market solutions to full out assault, and how happily these officers facilitated that assault on behalf of corporations. I mean, these are your free market options at work. This is what happens. This is what happens when corporations can't use the free market to get what they want. They'll just run you over. And we see this time and time again, not only corporations, but the government. So the free market is good when it's in the benefit of the corporations. But as soon as it is no longer advantageous to corporations to participate in the free market, they will drag your ass off of a plane, kicking and shouting. Here's the footage that I wanted you to show. Take a look at this.
Just kill me. Just kill me. Kill me. Just kill me. I had to go hard. Kill me. Just kill me. Just kill me. Just kill me.
Let me know what you think.